Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video, we are in for a special treat. Here we have the Hollow King. This knife here manufactured by Work Tuff Gear, designed by Daniel Murray Lake, and it came to me from Jason Dixon. So all in all, first off, thank you very much to Daniel Murray Lake for a fantastic design. Thank you, Jason Dixon, for passing this along. And of course, thank you, Work Tuff Gear, for your fantastic craftsmanship. I'm gonna start this entire video by saying, I am really impressed and thrilled to have tested this knife. This knife really does perform. I think as you watch the footage, you're going to agree. This was a real joy to use. Very balanced, beautiful knife. Absolutely fantastic overall performance. And again, I am thrilled to have the opportunity to have tested this. And so what we're gonna do when we come back, you're gonna see all the field use footage. You're gonna get to see this in good quality action, and then we'll come back to the studio for my final thoughts. And so with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Awesome geometry right away. I mean, just great feel immediately. Generally speaking, nice control. This spot right here does leave a bit of a hot spot because that's right in the meat of your grip, but it's hard to say what you do about that. Maybe just kiss those edges a little bit, but certainly manageable. I mean, the carving capability, absolutely there. You can see, I mean, sending massive amounts of wood flying. Handle, phenomenally good. Indexes extremely well, not a lot of shock, good and powerful, forward chopping capability, splitting, balanced. This is awesome. Good first impression. Trying to go all the way across. This has a real nice thick spot right on top of the spine. So even if you miss with your initial cracking shot, you got the ability to just slam right there, help drive this belly down and through. Pretty much like a high saber grind, I think you would call it that, and then it goes into that unsharpened swedge. So even though this is going to beat up on your baton, that's going to work out mighty nice. So far, really impressive. Cracking action. Splits the wood beautifully. You can see establishing that crack. He's doing a real nice job splitting the wood. Should be a pretty good test. Good hard oak. Nice. Big knife, but can do it. Oh yeah. You can see huge guard. I mean massive guard, which allows you really to get a good grip. And then with these indexing choils, good, positive, firm lockup. So no worries there. As we continue to split down and through some of these pieces, literally zero fear that I'm gonna slide up the blade. And on top of that, that unsharpened swedge really does allow the wood to crack easily. And on top of that, I can slide the wood forward. Ooh. Look at that. This is punky stump. At this point, my chopping stump is having its age take its course. But pushing up into the unsharpened swedge really does allow the wood to pop and break open nicely. There you go. So stabbing, actually extremely effective as well. This knife is cool. It's actually pretty impressive. I like it. Let's get some of this down to size. Just gonna go across it. Trying not to get it to completely fly away from me, but with pretty easy motion you can see real nice clean cut, super sharp refined edge, very nice. And you can see that's just enough to do the work here. Very simple. Again, trying to avoid this completely flying away from me, but that's all you need to do sometimes to get things down to size. Another way to go about this would be a simple cross baton. So you can see as I get this in place here, just going to cross baton this. Now that unsharpened swedge working a little bit against me, just because, and you can see, I mean, obviously my baton's extremely beat up already, but at some point this would snap your baton. But you got that nice big area back here, which also aids in your ability to get some leverage down on the blade. And that's a nice thick piece of steel. Just trying that again here. You can see getting the belly down into place, but I'm going to hit back here a little bit. Kind of got to set the knife. Not quite as effective. But yeah, it'll do it. Now getting into some carving, I'm going to use the full grip here
to start and just get a feel for it. Finding that edge. Nice edge. Work Tuff always doing a great job with their edge. I don't think this is reprofiled. I know this knife has been through a couple people and probably touched up, but I don't think reprofiled at all. So it should be the factory edge. Now, of course, this is forward weighted, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a balance issue. And if I'm not careful, this will cause fatigue over time, just because I'm not balancing the knife as well as I can. However, that is the reason for the finger choil. So now getting up on the choil, taking my time here and establishing an edge. There we go. Pretty nice in terms of my ability to get some curls. And keeping in mind, of course, this is hardwood, so it's not going to carve as easy as pine or something like that. So to get nice curls like this, doesn't always happen. It's a real nice edge. Good balance. Easy to control. And I find that, let's see what happens, a lot of khukuri style, and I guess I'm going to call this kind of a khukuri style knives, tend to be difficult to work down onto the working surface just because of the forward cant of the blade. But I seem to be doing just fine here. So far, no problems. And very comfortable and balanced in the hand. Now again, just after a little bit of work, I'm going to open up my palm, and you can see right there, it's turning blue on me. You can see it. That's what I'm talking about. That's that hot spot as I wrap. Right there, okay? So that flares out. And you can see that ends up right in the meat of your grip, right there. And that's going to cause a hot spot. So in my opinion, if that was kissed over or refined and slimmed out and softened, in my opinion, that would make a big difference for the long-term comfort and success for this knife. As you're working at a long time in adverse conditions, maybe you're deep in the mountains, you can't risk a hot spot. That's my suggestion, is just soften that up. But from generally an effectiveness perspective, the effectiveness can't be denied. Definitely effective. It's just the subtleties at this point. So far this design, in my opinion, is a home run. It just needs a tiny bit of refinement. Very simple. What about scraping? Kind of got to find a nice square edge. So I'm going to square this off right here. Again, very effective. And now, alternate grip. So turning the knife sideways, I like that it has that fuller. That aids, it's not jimping, but that's a nice indexing point where it's a good positive area for your thumb to land. It's not going to slide. You can grab the knife nicely sideways. Very positive grip. This feels pretty good. It helps to lock everything in place. And then in terms of the sharpness on the spine, you're going to have to go off of here. So that's the square spot. And as we get on this, let's give it a go. Ooh, yeah, you can hear it doing the work, and you can clearly see it doing the work. That's nice. I don't even have to go any further to say very effective. That's awesome. Alright, so now we're going to get into some fat wood, which this fat wood is kind of crappy, but this fat wood is really good and candied. So we're going to get in on this and chunk off some pieces, which an inferior edge sometimes can struggle with this, but this is kind of a laughing task for the Hollow King, which certainly is not going to care. In fact, you can see here as we get in on the belly, that's liking that quite a bit. Yeah, that's liking that. No problem, just mowing through it. And I like, actually at this point, you can see I'm going to balance the knife here, and because of that sort of angle, there's a gap underneath, and I'm just going to make some real nice fine little pieces just like this. So cool little bonus alternate capabilities here, and alternate means that's extremely effective. In fact, I'm carving this into a nice little spear. Gonna get a slightly longer piece here. Again, you can see, because this is bearing on the working surface, gives me that gap, and I can reach under real nice. Just got some real fine little pieces without any sort of movement of the knife. And as long as you're fairly careful, this is an extremely safe and effective way to make these little curls. And that's going to work out real nice. And I'm going to tell you that my belief, and I don't want to light this entire pile on fire, so I'm going to remove this real quick. But what I do like is you can use the knife to carefully manage your pile as a nice length. Just getting everything kind of organized here. But you'll see, as I angle the knife, I'm going to switch hands actually. So I'm going to go weak side with the knife, getting on the spine, right over the pile, which I should be able to concentrate. Let's try that again. Not quite as easy as I had hoped, but standard methods do prevail. Yeah, so that's easy. So from a squared off spine perspective, yeah, that's nice. Hollow King, very effective. Better than effective. You ready, little Luna? Watch. Leave it. Watch out. Watch. You get stabbed or burned. Get out. Choke. Choke. You're gonna get stabbed or burned. There's only one way for you to learn. There you go. Get away. Up. Danger. You've yet to learn what danger is, dog. We're going to teach you about danger. Leave it. You have not yet learned about danger. Well, I hate to say it, but you're probably going to find out the hard way. You don't seem too intelligent on the danger stuff. You like fire? You like the Hollow King? Speak! Speak! Oh, speak! Speak! Come here. Speak! Speak! Oh, Hollow King! Speak! Speak! Oh, Hollow King! Ah! Ah!
And so, all right, guys, there you have it, the Hollow King. Just such a cool design. I am really, really happy with the overall performance of this knife. I think it's a neat design. I think it's unique enough, but it has a lot of sort of familiar overall characteristics, which makes this interesting. A great forward-weighted yet balanced design melts into your hands wonderfully. The handle, very, very nice. I like it. It feels really good. Indexes incredibly well. The pommel design, literally perfect. That forward choil, nice. And the thing that I like about the forward choil, everything is softened and rounded nicely, and you get that full thickness of the stock to bear on. That is a great design. Now, you heard me say a couple times, I think a little bit of refinement here will go a long way to soften this out, and most specifically for the long term, like prolonged use, that's where that comes into play. If you're gonna grab the knife and do a little bit of work, not a problem, but if you're gonna use this at length, I think that will come into play. So my advice, just soften that, kiss it over, round it out, and that will make that nice and comfortable. Now, an aspect that we didn't talk about too much is the sheath. Now, the sheath is definitely a good quality and serviceable sheath. Work Tuff Gear always doing a nice job with their kydex, but the thing is, if you're not like precise, it is kind of hard to get the knife into the sheath. It takes a little bit of practice to get it to land right in that perfect location, but once you do, not a problem. So again, take the knife, set it into place, and it will go. It has a little bit of a ramp on the top, which kind of, I would say these scalloped handle scales do split it open when you get it at the right angle, and it does work well. You do pretty much need the additional retention strap to make sure it doesn't pull out, because this is a heavy knife. I don't know if I would trust this entirely. I don't know, it's pretty good. You'd probably have to work to get this to come out, but yeah, I don't know. You might not really need the secondary strap if you really wanted to trust it. Certainly for general use, it's not going to be a problem, but I think as you're carrying the knife, or if you had it lashed to your waist or a pack and you were going through brush, you just want to be careful, because sheaths of this design, of course, are fully open along the top of the spine, and there could be the potential that you would knock it out. So anyway, overall, great design, quality sheath, wonderful craftsmanship, absolutely awesome, awesome package from Work Tuff Gear and Daniel Murray Lake. And so again, guys, the Hollow King, absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for following along. And if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.